friends, my name is Pacasha, and this is Last Ditch Effort, which is my podcast, I guess, about using up my yarn stash. So you're going to have to excuse the squeaky chair. We all know I don't like to edit, and today might be an interesting episode. So every place you can find me is below. I did join Bluesky, however, I don't really use it. But I can still put that information down below. But, you know, Ravelry and Instagram are what I check the most. Ravelry mostly for, you know, cataloging my patterns and yarn stash. And Instagram, it's hard to quit it, you know. And I don't really post a whole lot, but I like to look at your posts. So, you know, let me know, tag me, whatever you need to do. I would like to see what you're up to. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different than usual. It is a little bit dark, I'm sorry. I've been messing around with the color and the light and everything I can, but really just, it's going to be a struggle bus today because I wanted to try something different. I do have some projects to talk about, but I haven't really gotten far on anything lately, so I thought I would share my shawl wall with you this time, or at least the first half. We'll do the top half first. So this all started as a quilt rack at my parents' house, and I stole it and brought it over here and quickly filled it up with a bunch of shawls and realized I needed a second one, and my husband Mark built a second thing, and it's just like, I don't know if you can see, it's just like a dowel rod essentially mounted on the wall. Yeah, so this is how I display and store all of my shawls. So I thought I would pull down this whole top rack and share those shawls with you. And in lieu of other information that I sometimes prattle on about. Anyway, let's start. This is what I'm wearing. This is the only knitwear I'm wearing today, and it's a Color Affection, which is by Veera Valimaki. And I can't tell you the colors because this yarn is Wollmeise lace garn. And back in the day, Wollmeise sold a few kits that had like partial skeins of lace garn to make some pattern. I don't even remember what it was. And I ended up I got a couple of those kits, and I just kind of mixed and matched them together or separate, and you'll actually see two projects using some more of these. So yeah, so that's what I did with that. I think one is Petite Poison or something, I don't know, like Schwartz or whatever the gray color is that they usually do. Yeah, so that's what I'm wearing, and I have everything written down, but I don't have my glasses on, so because the glare is insane from that window. So I'm going to be looking in kind of weird places. I may have to pick that up and move it towards me to get a little bit closer, but it looks like I made this in 2016. So that's another bit of information I'll share with you, is what year I knitted or finished all of these. Not necessarily complete, like, I don't know, like some of these drug out over months and months, and some were pretty quick, but that part's not important. But anyway, that's what I'm wearing. I do have a finished object, and I want to go ahead and show that. This is a pair of socks that's just my plain old vanilla 60 stitches, some ribbing. I did deeper ribbing than I usually do. And this is Nomadic Knits or Nomadic Yarns, I don't remember. And the colorway is Neville, which is a discontinued color. And this is a pair of socks, and I'm probably going to give them to my daughter. So I did finish this, and this is part of my stockpile to sock pile knit along with Alicia of Edmiston Creations and Chelsea of Chelsea Knit Sews and Throws. And I will put their information down below, but it's just a little knit along that they're doing to use up sock stash, and Lord knows I have some. So I finished a pair for this month, and that's what they are. I'll put that hashtag down below, so if you feel like joining, that would be awesome, because I know both of those women in real life, and they are lovely, and I'd love to be a part of their knitting projects. So that's that's my finished object. I will briefly talk about what I'm working on now. I do have a couple of socks on the go. Once again, I'm making a lot of socks for my daughter because she's going off to college. And so I'm going to, I don't know, have a bunch of socks for her, or ship her a bunch of socks throughout the year, whatever. But I'm working on some of those. And there's really not much to say or show of those right now because they're very, like, just starts of them. And I've paused the Nectar Blanket, which is another project that I'm making for my daughter by Isolde Teague. I've paused that and my Riggies Cardigan from Gudrun Johnston because I started doing a test knit for Gudrun. And this is the Audrey vest. Well, she had a pattern called Audrey and Unst, which was a part of the Twist Collective way back in the good old days of knitting. And so someone had made several versions as a vest, and she decided to write that up as a pattern. So I'm testing it, and it's going to be impossible to see. I am so sorry. But right now I'm ready to split for the front and back. And it's okay if I talk about this, like, because it's an established pattern, and Gudrun said so. So I am using Jamieson's of Shetland, and this color is Cosmos, and it's really hard to see right now. I'll try to get a little bit closer, but you're not gonna be able to see it. It's super dark, and it's got like navy flecks in it. I don't know what that is, but oh, that's a stitch mark. Yeah, so I just got to the point where I'm gonna split it up for the front and back pieces. So that's what I've been working on, and it's been a super nice knit. It's been zooming along, and I'm enjoying it, and that will probably be a finished object pretty soon. So let's just move along because I've got a lot to talk about. And I think I'm going to go ahead and take my notes and bring them closer. And I'm sorry if me looking down and not making eye contact, which I'm not anyway because I'm behind a camera. If that bothers you, this may not be your video. It's also not going to be edited, so there might be some weird things, like I'm going to have to take all these down, obviously, and it might be kind of chaos for a bit, but here we go. Let's move these notes in. Sorry. Oh, that's annoying. All right, and I may have to put my glasses on too, and there will be glare, but I'm going to try to do it without my glasses. So this one was the first one I was going to talk about. Usually I have these organized in a like rainbow order, and they're just kind of a mess right now, which was one of the reasons I thought this would be a good idea, because I kind of want to take them off and kind of air them out and maybe even reblock a few because they've kind of, you know, they need to be freshened up a bit. I don't wash my shawls very often, so let me see if I can find a good place to put these notes. That may not work, but okay. So we're going to start over here, and I'm just going to pull them down and do this, and oh, and there go my notes. Okay, excuse me for a moment. You guys better like me. This isn't going to work out very well if you don't like me. And my chair's loud. We've already discussed that multiple times throughout this podcast. But okay, so this first one that I want to talk about is the Ishbel by Isolde Teague. Now, I have made many Ishbels. This is a smaller one, so it's more of a shawlette. This, I don't think was my first one, but it's pretty close to my first one, I think. And this is Tosh Merino Light in the colorway Tart, which is one of my absolute favorite colors of yarn. And like TML is like one of my favorite yarns too. So this is a favorite, and I do wear it a lot. It could probably use a wash and a block because it actually does get a lot of use. So that's the first one. And this one I made in, it looks like 2015. So yeah, number one. Number two is Le Bandana by Ami Gilles of, oh my God, La Bien-Aimée. Okay. So this color is Whiskey Barrel, and once again, it's Madeline Tosh. And this is Pashmina, so it's the one with cashmere in it. And this one's just like a little kerchief, like you would tie it, or I usually use a pin to hold my stuff on. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like these super small ones that are trendy right now, like the Sophie scarf and stuff. When I started knitting, it was about the time of the one skein shawlette, like the Ishbel right there. So I have a lot of smaller like shawls that I wear bandana style, or just, you know, a little something around your neck. And so I'm already kind of at capacity with those, and they're not, to me, they're not the most practical. I don't find them to be, oh, a lovely thing you just throw on, because I feel like fastening them are a pain, and I would prefer to wear a cowl over something like this. But I still made it. It was still a knit along with some friends, and so the experience was nice. This yarn is lovely. And then now there's some road construction outside. Somebody's backing up with one of those beepers. I apologize. Let's move on. Whiskey Barrel, Madeline Tosh, Pashmina. And that I just made last year, so 24. The next one is one I made last year too, and it's called the C/Low by Heidi Aylander. I'll write that down below. I'll write all of this stuff down below. I won't provide links so you can look it up yourself. Oh, there go my nuts again. But I will have everything you need to know down below. And this, let me find the front. This is it's kind of an asymmetrical triangle, and it's mostly garter stitch. And then at the end, it has this lovely little lace pattern. I don't know how well that's showing up. Not very well, actually. And this is, okay. In my Ravelry project page, I say it's Wool and Vine Gosling, which is kind of, I think it's her cashmere. It's like a single, but it's got some cashmere in it. But it could also be Nouveau, which is her other singles yarn. I think it might be Gosling, but for some reason I'm thinking it could be Neville, and I just recorded it wrong. Anyway, this colorway is Mooncusser, and she doesn't do it very often, so when she does, I grab it when I can. Obviously not buying yarn right now. Not obviously, it may not be obvious, but I'm not buying yarn right now. So if you see Mooncusser and you like that kind of grade mauvey, moody color, that's the one for you. You should grab it. Okay, and that one, let me get my notes because they fell again. This is working out really well, guys. I'm super excited. Okay, that one was, oh yeah, it was this year. So, or last year, 2024. All right, the next one is my Find Your Fade, and this one I made while in lockdown, so 2020. And this is Andrea Mowry, and it is huge, absolutely huge. And I used a ton of leftovers. Like, I can't even tell you everything that's in here. It used up so much. I don't even know where the starting point is on this thing, so I'll just start right here. And if I recognize anything, I think that one's an Into the World, but I couldn't tell you which one. That one is when I over dyed. This is when I dyed myself. That wasn't over dyed, it was just straight up dyed. And then now we're getting into fuzzy territory. And for this one, I did not do any of the lace. All I did was just fade the colors in. So it gets kind of moody there in the middle, but I don't know. Like, there's no way I can hold it up where you can see the whole effect of it. I have to wrap it so many times around me, and I'm like super short and round, so it's like, it's a bit of a faff, for lack of a better term, to deal with this, but it's cozy. I have made another one that did have lace in it, and I think I ended up giving that to a friend, or it could be hiding in here, I'm not really sure. But yeah, so that's the next one. So this one is called Cinder Rose, and this one, Yeah. I made this in 2021. I was actively working on this shawl when I took my dad to the hospital for the very first time. Right when he was getting diagnosed with liver cancer. And so this is what I was working on while I was in the emergency room with him before he got the news and before he got transported immediately to another larger hospital. So needless to say, I did not do this pattern justice. This is the Cinder Rose by Kalura Hudson. And typically it has a very involved border with lots of noops and cables, and it was such a cool chunky border, and I wanted to give it everything I could, but my brain was just done at that time. So I also don't really wear this one that much. Not only is it worsted, this is wool of the Andes in, I think it's garnet heather and dove heather, wool of the Andes, so it's just pure wool. So it's a bit thicker because it's a worsted. And I don't know if that's the reason why, or if it was because, you know, of my dad or whatever. Anyway, it's here if I need it. I don't have necessarily negative feelings about it. I just don't wear it. So, I don't know. But Kalura Hudson does some really cool shawls. I actually have one kind of waiting in the wings coming up hopefully soon. We'll see. She likes to do like kind of chunkier pieces, which is kind of fun. But yeah, I mean, one day I'll make Cinder Rose in all its glory and it'll be fantastic and whatever. But until then, I have that and that's okay. So this next one is Ashling by Veera Valimaki. And this one, it looks like it's 2016. This one I used some hand spun. Let me show you first. So it's garter, and then it has like very simple lace. And this one used to be probably twice as big, but the hand spun that I did was very springy, mostly I think merino, I'm not really sure. And it was a very round, plump yarn, so lace works better if it's loosely plied and, you know, kind of lanky, and it holds its shape better, whereas this, you block it out, it's nice and big, but then that nature of that wool just kind of sucks back in because of the, you know, the crimp of the wool, or, you know, the energy in which you ply, whatever. But it was still a nice little project, and I do wear it sometimes. This one I do need to reblock though, I think. Not from wear, but just from the nature of the yarn. It needs to be stretched out again if I want it to be what I want it to be. Now, this fiber is from Hello Yarn, and I actually brought, she occasionally, or they really, because her husband is helping now a lot, probably always did. Anyway, at the end of like a dyeing cycle, or, you know, every now and then, Adrian puts all of like kind of the remnants together and sells these things called patchwork bags. And it's like a pound of fiber. And it's just all, I mean, there's no telling what's in here, like what kind of fiber. It could be superwash, it could have bamboo in it. It could, I mean, anything could be in here. And they're kind of fun little ways to play around with color, not necessarily fiber, because you don't really know what you're working with specifically. So I like to use those. I just got that one. I'm not buying yarn, but fiber apparently is not off limits. And I'm not sharing my stash numbers with you because I actually just inputted a bunch of hand spun that I did last year, and that exploded that. So, but I don't worry about that too much. My stash can grow because of hand spun. I give myself permission. So this is a Hitchhiker by Martina Bain, which used to be the super cool thing that everybody was doing. I don't remember how many points I got. You're supposed to get 42, which is, you know, the secret number to, I don't know, the secrets of the universe. This has got hair all over it. I think it looks like a Kermit thing, just, you know, with his collar. And so I actually entered this in a knit along with the Bakery Bears several years ago. Like, you were supposed to knit your Muppet. So I knit Kermit. And this is Wollmeise lace garn. This is a bit of that that kit with the kind of, not remnants, but smaller skeins of lace colors. And this colorway is Pesto. And to be honest, this is so small it gets kind of lost in there, so I don't really wear it, but it is like an amazing dark pea green color. Yeah, that's a lot more accurate. It's like a yellowy green. It's lovely. So I really should wear it more, so I may have to fix things up. Let's see. Checker. That was made in 2016. Okay, where are we at now? Wandering the Moor, I think will be the next one. I need to look at my notes. Nope. The next one is this. What is this one? This one is, oh, this one's Bowerbird. And I made it in 2020, and it's by, it looks like Kath Ward. And this is Knit Picks palette in Clover. I love this one. This one's got a lot of lace. It's not just garter and then lace. It's got actual like lace throughout. Well, knitted lace versus lace, like it's just patterned on the front. It's not patterned on the back. You do get rest rows. I don't know if this is easy to see. This may not have been a good idea. But this is a nice little shawl, and it used some palette, and I love using palette. Palette's one of those that I think it is a 2-ply. It is a looser spun, more for color work, not really for lace. But it did make a nice project, and there's a couple more in here. I don't know if you can see the lace a little bit better without me holding it. Oh yeah, that works. So it's a really pretty little thing. Kath Ward, Bowerbird. This is Wandering the Moor by Celeste Glassel. This one I made in 2010, it looks like. And this I used Knit Picks Comfy Sport Weight in the colorway Sarge. So it's kind of, there's going to be little threads and stuff sometimes. It's, you know, kind of a camouflagey green, an army green color. And it has this nice lace border. I'm going to fold it in half so you can see it. So it's just a triangular shawl. And then it's got like that on the bottom. I may have had to cut it off short because of reasons. I don't know. That sometimes happens. Like if I get distracted, usually it's because I run out of yarn, to be honest. So yeah. So this one is a super wash. It may even have acrylic in it. I don't know what the content is, but it's holding up really well since 2010. I don't wear it a whole lot, but I do wear it sometimes. This one is my own pattern. This one's called Long Johns and Lace. This is the very first prototype of that pattern, and it does need to get reblocked, so don't judge too harshly. So it's a little shawlette, and it's got that bump, but when you block it out properly, that bump isn't there. I think that's kind of a common issue with a lot of shawls. And then it's super easy moss stitch. You don't have to keep track of anything. I tried to make this pattern as easy as possible, and it's a free download on Ravelry if you want it. And then just super easy net, and then a really cool bind off that is similar to the bind off on Isolde Teague Stanzin. Yeah, look, it's all curled up. I do wear this one a lot just because it's kind of a good size. Like it's not too big, it's not too small. It's long enough for being like shallow, so it stays in place. This is Knit Picks Shire Heather, and this is Oregon Coast Heather palette. So once again, as I was saying, the palette like kind of, it needs to get reblocked every now and then to get those nice lacy properties together. So this one, it looks like 2016, which would have been when I put that pattern out. My one and only pattern. This is it. I did have another one, but I think I gave that away as a gift. So not that that matters, but this is a half hat by Gudrun Johnston. It's the Hansel hat, and this is the half version of it. And once again, I used some hand spun. This hand spun came from a Fat Cat Knits braid. Kind of awkward bump right there. Anyway, I spun it as a felted single. So that was like kind of, I don't know. I was testing it out. And it worked out really well. And I think that yarn sat around for a long time until this pattern came. And I was like, yep, that's it. That's the pattern. And I don't know that it's, I don't know. I kind of think that that design works really well with like a self-striping, gradient, whatever hand spun. The fiber is fantastic. It's Polworth. So it's like super soft. But I love these colors. I don't know how accurate that is, but it looks all right. It's kind of browns and blues and purpley colors. Yeah, so that's a half Hansel hat by Gudrun Johnston. Let's see, this one was 2020. And then also in 2020, I made the full hat by Gudrun. The full Hansel hat. I keep forgetting the Hansel part, and that's actually the name of it. So this is the full, this is huge. It's a full square hat. So it's like a blanket almost. And this I used the Pix palette. There's, yeah. Opal Heather, Edamame. This is Bark or Bison, I'm not sure. This is Salsa Heather, and this is just their natural, undyed. So this is the whole big thing. And it's huge. And I remember really enjoying knitting this. Even the lace part, like I don't mind doing a bit of lace. I don't mind knitted on lace edgings. I just like shawls. I haven't really done a lot lately, but isn't that great? And I also have a hat and mitts that I use the same colors, like little leftover bits to make like a set. Okay, what have we got next? This one, Balvrade hat. I think that's how you say it, by Rita Taylor. Let's just pull this closer to my eyeballs. Yep, Rita Taylor, and it looks like it's 2019. And this once again is palette in navy. So it's got like that garter once again, and then you pick up and you knit. I'll show it in just a second a little bit better, and then you do an applied lace border. So let me fold this in half, because once again it's just a triangle shawl. This one I've worn quite a bit. I don't know if you can see, but it's got kind of like ridges. So it has like this linear horizontal effect, and then I don't know if you can see that at all. Well, there we go. Yeah. I loved knitting this one, and I like wearing it a lot. Because I do wear a lot of navy. I wear a lot of dark colors if that's my preference. So, navy palette. Did I say when I did that one? Probably not. Yeah, 2019. So this is the Wildesmeer, and I made this in 2016. And this is by Kristen Luhr, who does Wollmeise. However, this is not Wollmeise yarns. This is once again some of that Wollmeise lace part of that kit. Let me see if I can hold this. This is a super airy, lacy piece. And then the edging has beads in it. Can you see the beads? I wear this one probably the most of these up here next to my Tarte Ishbel. I wear it all the time because it's just so light, but it offers that like bit of color and just a little bit of warmth without overheating you. So And I think this color, if you were to like go by a Wollmeise skein, I think this is Madame Sorry. Because they did have, in those kits, they did name the colors. I just was really bad at keeping track. Plus, this is kind of old. It's almost 10 years old. So that information has long since left my brain. So this next one is Waiting for Rain, and this was 2016 also. I knit a lot in 2016, apparently. This is Sylvia McFadden, and I can safely say that this was probably one of the nicer patterns I've ever made. I just got in a zone. It was like, just one of those perfect projects where it went too quickly. There was never any time. Like, it was just, every moment was pure joy. And this yarn is Tosh Merino Light. Once again, one of my favorites. And the colorway is called Coal Seam. And I'm going to hold up where you can see the lace. So this has got some really cool, like short row lace inserts in with the garter. Oh, it was just fabulous to do. I truly enjoyed this project. The yarn is super special because my friend Jamie picked it out for me. And so I think about her every time I wear this, and I do actually wear this a lot. I don't like have a lot of purple clothes, but I wear a lot of purple with like black and gray. Anyway, I loved knitting this one. This one's one of my favorites. Yeah. Love that one. Oh, my pile is huge over here. Okay, this last one I made last year. You may remember me talking about that if you've watched for a bit. This one is the Copper Wing? Yeah, Copper Wing by Wool and Pine. It is massive. Triangle. Now, I don't wear this one very much. There's actually like an end poking out that doesn't look so great. I did not enjoy knitting this one. I don't know why. I don't know. I just wasn't like there. And it's so big. Like at the end, I was just, and I was stressed about not having enough yarn, and I had to do some creative things to make it all work. But anyway, this top color was some Knit Picks Hawthorn in confetti speckle, I think, but I overdyed it with some tobacco from Dharma Yarn or Trading Co. or something, I don't know. And then this next section is some hand spun that I did. And it was kind of just this mystery hand spun. And then at the bottom, I edged it with Rosa Pomar Mondim, whatever that one is, just in the red. I just had like a bit left over from another project, so I finished that up. So, I mean, it's really pretty. And it's a really cool size. Like, it's kind of warm, but it is, you know, mostly superwash, so it's not totally warm. My woolier ones are much more cozy, but, you know, I tend to run kind of hot anyway, so I probably should give these guys a better chance. So anyway, that's the last on this wall. Kind of a lot of shawls. I didn't count them. But yeah, a lot. And so if you're interested, I will continue with this second row here and kind of clean this mess up so it's more pleasant to look at. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed. Let me know below if you have any questions. I'll try to put as much information as I can below. Not that anybody really needs that information because, you know, knit what you want. Doesn't matter what I'm knitting. I'm just sharing because why not, you know. Anyway, I wish you the very best in whatever you're up to today, this weekend, whenever you're watching. Yeah. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.